وصحبه وسلم أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome back after a very long period of absence in which I'm sure you had the chance to revise the previous lectures and to go through the slides that we went by so far. Today we will meet again in order to pursue another very interesting aspect of the novel and of the course, which I call this child talk, innocence and verisimilitude. This is the title of today's lecture. We will stop a little bit in the summary. I'm not going to summarize more of the novel. The summary is easy enough. You will know the details of the story sooner or later. But I chose today to talk to you about this very nice aspect of the novel, and this is the contrast between innocence and experience, or the contrast between innocence and verisimilitude. William Blake has a book of poetry that he calls Songs of Innocence and Experience. And man's life is just like that, innocence and experience. We all start life very innocent, knowing nothing about its troubles and its problems, and then little by little we are introduced into the hardships and the problems of life, and some of us gain experience and learn by experience, and some don't, of course. But in a novel like this, the writer in a very smart and beautiful way describes for us the differences between the experience of mother and the innocence of the children. The innocence of the children and the unidyllic world, the world that they experience and that teaches them as they grow up. They still insist on looking at that world from the viewpoint of innocence and sincerity and purity. I would like to invite you to enjoy the coming quotations with me. Forget about exams now, just enjoy. Peter and Phyllis have a lovely conversation between them, and here we will see how the writer describes Phil or Phyllis for us as someone who trembles on things, who falls on things, who breaks things, who has her shoelaces undone all the time, who uses the handkerchief when she has a cold, or when she's crying, or when she's not having a cold, really. You'll see. Let me not jump into things. I met the station master yesterday, said Peter, in an offhand or casual way, and he pretended not to hear what Phyllis had said. He expressly invited us to go down anytime we liked. Look at the words that are colored. Expressly. This is an expression that has specially been coined by Peter. It doesn't exist in English. It's not a dictionary word, by the way. He is the one who has invented it, and it's very nice for the writer to show us how the children are able to coin new words like that. The last thing that we had last time was the friendship that has started to grow between the station master and the children after the children have been accused of theft. This for us is one example of irrelevant details, but is it really irrelevant? No, it isn't, because that's in reality the life and the world of the children. They think of many particular, peculiar, very small, minor details like this. After the calls repeated, Phyllis, she's asking him, did the gentleman say so after the incidents of the calls? Stop a minute. And she stops everything because her bootlace is undone again. She's done that many times. It always is undone again, said Peter. And the station master was more of a gentleman, so he stops for a minute to comment on her bootlaces that have been undone, saying they have been undone again. And the station master was more of a gentleman than you'll ever be, Phil. You're not a gentleman, you're not a gentlewoman, because you keep undoing your bootlace, throwing coals at a chaps. She's bending in order to mend her bootlaces that have been undone, and in the process she has thrown some coals at his head. But he talks like a man, throwing coals at a chap's, at a boy's, at a man's head like that. All the time Peter loves to show up as the man of the house. I kept saying this. Now he is railing at his sister for throwing coals at his head. He is admonishing her because he is showing up as the man of the house. Phyllis did up her bootlace and went on in silence. She's silent, she's sad, but her shoulders shook, and presently a fat tear, she's crying, fell off her nose and splashed on the metal of the railway line. Bobby saw it. They noticed things, they observed things. "Why, what's the matter, darling?" she said, stopping short and putting her arm around the heaving. She's crying and she's embracing her sister. She's older, she understands and she cares. Why is she crying? "He called me ungentlemanly," sobbed Phyllis. "I didn't never call him unladylike." Ungentlemanly, and the opposite, according to the child, is unladylike. Not even when he tied my Clarendette to the firewood bundle and burned her at the stake for a martyr. That was a game they played as children. And she remembers something that her brother did for her toy when they were smaller. Peter had indeed perpetrated this outrage a year or two before. She remembers that, and she recalls it now, in order to show Peter and Bobby that she is better than her boy brother. Look at this. Child talk, innocence, and verisimilitude. The writer has immersed us in this kind of innocence and in this kind of verisimilitude, in this kind of realistic description of the life of the children. But we gather from this also that there is a problem between Peter, who thinks as a boy, as a man, and the other sisters, the other women, the other girls of the house. "Well, you began, said Bobby honestly." She said, "Let me be honest. You began. You're the one who began. About coals. You reminded him of the coals and of the time that he stole coals. Don't you think you'd better, both of you," she is wiser, she advises them, "don't you think you'd better both unsay everything?" And I have highlighted this as well, because unsay is not a word, it's not a dictionary word. Everything since the wave, and let honor be satisfied. مش خلاص بقى. Let's stop it. Shouldn't you be wise enough to stop all this? I will if Peter will. I will stop it if Peter will stop it, said Phyllis, sniffing like this. I'm sorry, I have a cold. All right, said Peter. Honor is satisfied. Him. Use my hanky like this. Where is my hanky myself? Use my hanky. Phil, for God's sake, because she's dropping things from her nose and from her eyes. If you've lost yours, as usual, you've lost your handkerchief as usual. I wonder what you do with them, with your hankies. Very nice. Very amusing picture of Phil. A motif. And this is the point I would like to come to. A motif. What is a motif? A motif is something that is repeated in the novel for a certain reason. Like the refrain in a poem. In a poem, we have something that is repeated for a purpose. It is called in poetry a refrain. In the field of the novel, when something is repeated several times, like Phyllis being pictured all the time as dropping things, breaking things, falling on things, undoing things, this is a motif. It is there to amuse us, to make us smile, to entertain us, to show us also at the same time that there are children like that who are prone to break things and to spoil things. Okay, then they tell mother about their adventures at the railways. When she hears the story of the coals and so on, she says, I'm so glad you like the railway. Only, please, you mustn't walk on the line. This is very realistic as well, because mothers are afraid for their children. Mothers do not want their children to get harmed or damaged, injured at the railways. So you mustn't walk on the line, okay? And children are very pure and very innocent as well. Not if we face the way the train is coming. The train is coming this way and we face the train. So the train driver is supposed to see us and avoid us, asked Peter after a gloomy pause. Why gloomy? Sad period of silence? Because he has done that. And he is sad at himself. He is sorry, in which glances of despair were exchanged. Everyone is looking at everyone else because they feel sorry at the fact that they did the thing that mother is guarding them against. No, really not, said mother. Don't do that, please. You have to walk away off the line. Then Phyllis said, Mother, didn't you ever walk on the railway lines when you were little? She's innocent, very innocent, you know, and direct, and blunt, and abrupt, and shocking at the same time. Didn't you do that yourself when you were little like us? I'm giving you the page number so you could go to the PDF file or the Word file I left you. Mother was an honest and honorable mother. So she had to say, yes. Who's speaking now? Who's talking like this? This is the narrative voice, the author, commenting on mother. Mother was honest, mother was honorable. I mean, if this is not a realistic novel, mother would say, no, I never walked on the line, but it's realistic. She is not going to lie. She could have lied, مش كده? She could have lied to them, right? But she says yes. Well, then said Phyllis, huh? You did that yourself and you are asking us not to do it? But darlings, you don't know how fond I am of you. I'm very fond of you. What should I do if you got hurt? Let us look at the attitude of Phyllis. Are you fonder of us than Granny was of you when you were little? And then the analogy and the comparison goes on and on. Phyllis asked. Bobby made signs to her to stop it, don't talk like that to mother. But Phyllis never did see signs. She never did see any signs because she was blunt and abrupt and impulsive and so on. No matter how plain they might be. There might be some plain signs, but she doesn't see them. Mother did not answer for a minute. She got up to put more water in the teapot, as if she didn't hear the question. Why did she go to, because there will be a question about this perhaps, or you can think of a question. Why does she not answer the question? The question is, are you fonder of us than Granny was of you when you were little? She doesn't answer. She just puts some more water in the teapot. No one, she said at last, ever loved anyone more than my mother loved me. My mother loved me so much. Then she was quiet again, and Bobby kicked Phyllis hard under the table. She doesn't like Mother to be sad, because Bobby understood a little bit the thoughts that were making Mother so quiet. The thoughts of the time when Mother was a little girl and was all the world to her mother. It seems so easy and natural to run to Mother when one is in trouble. Bobby understood a little how people do not leave off running to their mothers when they are in trouble, even when they are grown up, and she thought she knew a little what it must be to be sad and have no mother to run to anymore, because she considers that she knows that Mother is sad, that her own mother is dead, and that she cannot run to anymore because she is dead. Also because, and this is something that we can think of together, the mother of the children feels sorry that she is not there for the children anymore. She's busy and they do not find her in front of them. So she kicked Phyllis to stop her. But Phyllis says, "What are you kicking me like that for, Bob?" She should have stopped. Mafruit. But she doesn't stop. Okay? She is different. And then Mother laughed a little and sighed and said, "Very well then, only let me be sure you do know which way the trains come, and don't walk on the line near the tunnel or near corners." What should I do? Go, do whatever you like, okay, but be careful, please. What do you think of the character of Phil? She's there. We know the characteristics of children's literature tell us that children's literature has to be amusing, it has to be entertaining, it has to be comic, it has to be optimistic, full of hope, full of entertainment, and Phyllis serves that purpose indeed. "Trains keep to the left like carriages," said Peter. "So if we keep to the right, we're bound to see them coming." "Very well," said Mother, and I dare say you think that she ought not to have said it. Here is the narrative voice commenting about Mother. But she remembered about when she was a little girl herself, and she did say it, and neither her own children, nor you, nor any other children in the world could ever understand exactly what it cost her to do it. To do it, that is to say very well, to say, okay, do it in whatever way you like. Go to the station, walk in whatever way you like, but be careful. But look at this again. Neither her own children, nor you as readers, nor any other children in the world could ever understand the feelings of Mother when she has to say, okay, go on the lines. Only some few of you, like Bobby, might understand a very little bit. No one will understand the heart of a mother that is afraid for her children. And let us move to another point. The children, immediately after this conversation, Mother falls sick. She's very sick. We don't know if she's very sick because she remembers her own mother, or because she's afraid for her children, or because she's very tired. But anyway, she falls sick. They try to help her. They try to help her, but they are very poor and they are helpless. So one of the things they think of is that they can send a letter to the gentleman who passes by the train and who waves to them as they wave to him. So they already send a letter. They write a letter, and look at the letter. I have put it here as a whole because, again, it's an example of child talk, the innocence of the children. Look at the language of the letter. Dear Mister, we do not know your name. Mister, we do not know your name. Mr. Fulan and Fulan. Mother is ill and the doctor says to give her the things at the end of the letter. But she says she can't afford it and to get mutton for us and she will have the broth. The language, as you can see, is poor, weak. There are mistakes in spelling, like afford, which has to have another F here. I have kept the language as it is, and the writer has kept the language as it is in order to show us that this is the language of the children. This is the only thing that they could think of. Very poor and very weak language, but it is very expressive and very sincere. We do not know anybody here but you, because Father is away and we do not know the address. They are giving the gentleman some family secrets. The goal is to help Mother. The goal is to rescue and save Mother and cure Mother. So in the process, they have to give away some secrets. Father will pay you, for he has lost all his money or anything. Peter will pay you when he is a man. If Father doesn't come back, Peter will pay you when he is a man. We promise it on our honor. And look at the word honor, how it is written. We promise you, Bisharafna, we will pay you that money back. I owe you. This is, famous. This is well known. I owe you, that is to say, this is a check. This is a promise that we will pay you for all the things Mother wants. Just please give us those things and we will pay you back when we grow up or when Father comes back. Signed, there should be a G here, signed Peter. And this is the original manuscript of the letter. They don't agree on it. Will you give the parcel? And parcel is with a C, not an S, to the station master because of us not knowing what train you come down by. Okay, say it is for Peter that was sorry about the calls and he will know all right. Roberta, Phyllis, Peter. Very interesting letter it is, right? How many language mistakes can you find in the previous passage? Why are they kept as they are? Again, if you look at the title, innocence and very similitude. What do you think of the effect of this letter on children or on readers? A very nice effect indeed. Innocence and very similitude. The man replies. He takes the letter, he reads it, and this is his response. Dear Roberta and Phyllis and Peter, it said, here are the things you want. Your mother will want to know where they came from. Tell her they were sent by a friend who heard she was ill. He is wiser than the children, of course. And this is what he says. When she is well again, you must tell her all about it, of course, advising them to the best of his knowledge. And if she says you ought not to have asked for the things, tell her that I say you were quite right and that I hope she will forgive me for taking the liberty of allowing myself a very great pleasure. He gets those things that they asked for in order to help Mother be better. When she is better already, she has the drinks and the medicine that the man sends for them, and she improves, and she knows the story. She becomes angry a little bit, and then she advises them and she corrects the mistakes. Now listen, said mother, it's quite true that we are poor, but we have enough to live on. You mustn't go telling everyone about our affairs. It is not right. She gets a little bit angry. And you must never, never, never ask strangers to give you things. Now always remember that, won't you? She's harder, she's stronger, she is angrier than before, of course, and the children get ashamed of themselves. But if you look at it generally, you will feel that mother is civilized and decent, and of course very knowledgeable and very educated about that. And I write a letter to your old gentleman, and I shall tell him that I don't approve. You know, she gets lost a little bit in the idea, but she checks herself and she remembers. So she says, oh, of course I shall thank him too for his kindness. She has not forgotten in the middle of her anger to educate her children or to leave something very nice in the minds of her children about the kindness of that person. It's you I don't approve of, my darlings. I still do not approve of what you have done. I do not accept it. Nor the old gentleman. He was as kind as ever he could be. And you can give the letter to the station master to give him. And we won't say any more about it. Khalas, stop it. Don't just let us talk about it anymore. Afterward, when the children were alone, Bobby said, see the reaction of Roberta and Phyllis to the attitude of mother. Isn't mother splendid? Isn't she wonderful? You catch any other grown-up saying it was sorry it had been angry. Mother says, I'm sorry, I'm angry. So they are touched by the apology of mother. They are very touched at their mother saying sorry. Yes, said Peter, she's splendid, but it's rather awful when she's angry. I get afraid when she's angry. But look at Phyllis. What does she say? She's like avenging and bright in the song. A song talking about avenge and anger. I should like to look at her if it wasn't so awful. She looks so beautiful when she's really downright furious. Mother, according to Phyllis, looks very beautiful when she is angry. Children, you know, innocence and very similitude. Today, we have tried to concentrate on one aspect of the novel, which is the language of the children and how the children use it, and how the writer uses that kind of language in order to show us the verisimilitude and the realism of the novel. It's a simple language, it's an innocent one, it is full of amusement, it is full of sincerity and purity, and at the same time it is contrasted with the language of mother and the gentleman, a language that is wise contrasted to the language of the children that is pure and innocent. And all this shows us that the novel is very realistic. Next times we have another 2 lectures to go until the end of the course. In these 2 lectures we will round off the story. We will go quickly into the last chapters, inshallah. That was the end of chapter 4. Thank you very much. Wish you the best of time. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.